Welcome. In this video, I'm going to go through what are the types of programs in Solana. So on Solana, there are different types of program, or you call like smart contract and EVM. So what are the types that exist? How do we identify them, which is so essential for you as a developer as you are learning the rope of Solana development. So let's check on that in this video. Welcome, dear friend. I'm Solomon Foske, founder of dProgramming University, a free Web3 development education platform. Please note our content are for education purpose only, not financial, trading, investment, programming or development advice into any of the platform discussed. Always do your own research. And please, we may get sponsorship, partnership, token or whatever form during, before or after creating this content, but we try as much as possible to remain unbiased and make it educative. If that agreed on, let's get right into this content. Yeah, from the previous video, we talked about what's a Solana program. We've learned what Solana program is about. If you don't, you can watch the video, but you know that is a piece of code that executes on Solana blockchain. And I told you that we'll do subsequent video where we'll talk about the types of the programs we have on Solana, or Solana programs type. So now in this video, there are different types of Solana programs. Now, good that I have this already for you. We have what we call the number one, called the native program. Yeah. So there are native programs, and unlike Ethereum or EVM, Solana made it a bit much easier to deploy programs or smart contracts, and we'll still get to that. And one of the way they make it easier is to look for what are general things people will likely want to do. You understand what I'm saying? And then create some programs for them, which makes it much easier. Normally, even Ethereum have native programs as well, which handle some things like transfer and things like that. But Solana still have even more, which we'll still discuss about as well. So this example of it is the system program, which you can see some of the feature is the one that handle things like creating new account, allocating data, managing and assigning account ownership and things like that. Then we have other ones like those that handle staking. So if you know Solana is a proof of stake, which means it's unlike Bitcoin that is proof of work, you know, you mine it. Your type of mining here is by staking your Solana, your SOL. When you stake your SOL on the blockchain, it keeps the security, gives those that have enough of that stake, which are now called the validator, the authority to mine out a blockchain. You understand that the new block and then get rewarded and things like that. So they also have other ones like voting and things like that. All those are already core. They are already native program of the Solana blockchain, which you know interact with the C level of Solana blockchain. Now, and the C level is just to not confuse you, it's just like basic of the core of Solana blockchain that deals with the validators, cluster and things like that. So all these ones interact with it. Then you have the second one. Let's call that custom programs. So you will see it, some will call it on-chain program. So for me, I don't know the logic because all these also are part of, but majority of these are what are core that makes the blockchain work to now create a kind of on-chain environment. So maybe I can agree if I try to understand it from that level. But if you look at that, then you will understand straight from that point when you talk about on-chain programs or custom programs. These are now the type of programs you can build and deploy to interact with these native programs on Solana. So for example, I can create a kind of like, let's say, SPL token. If I want to create an SPL token, you understand what I'm saying? And some other things like that, I will need to interact with SPL token program. So for me to be able to, undo this custom on-chain. So that's why all these things has their own benefit in the terms of when you have some pre-added on-chain program, like the SPL token program, for example, then makes things much easier because token can have set of standard. That's what things like Ethereum and EVMs don't have. That's why you will see things like OpenSepilin. So you think of OpenSepilin when we talk about SPL Solana Program Library token program. So when you want to deploy on EVM, you know how you need to use a lot of code, a lot of programming, but which are been abstracted away with things like OpenSepilin. So the same way you have your SPL token that you can deploy for fungible token or NFT and things, and a lot more like that. So for you, any program you yourself can deploy on Solana blockchain is a custom on-chain program. And anyone that's pre-deployed there, like the system program, like BFL loader and things like that, they are called the native program. So those are the two major programs you have on. So and if you check the doc as well, you can see we have the native program and then we have the system program and things it can do. Then other system program like BF is the program designed BPF loader program as the owner of all other programs on the network, excluding native programs. It is responsible for deploying, upgrading, and executing custom programs. You understand? So that we have other program, which is the BFP loader, and then we have Sysva accounts. They are special accounts. So this one is just account. So they said we have another BFP loader program. And when you talk about this BFP loader, that's like what handles like the programming language when you're using Rust or Solang Solidity and some other things like that to make sure they work with the Solana program, like the C-level itself. So this type of program actually does the call of helping those things to be upgraded and done. So that means we can say we have the third program, but usually these are not usually like considered in some content I've also seen online as well. So if you see like, okay, there are two types, yes, but maybe some see it like, okay, let's see these are just native, but based on the doc, they're trying to let us understand that every program on Solana blockchain are usually owned and managed by this native program, but anyone that is not managed like that is usually handled by the BPF loader, which, based on this, handles things like I told you, the programming languages you use to interact with Solana blockchain. So we also have the BPF loader program as well. So that means we can as well create something like this and call it the BFP program. And then we can call this 3. But like I told you, you will usually find it in most content online. It's just the native program, and because this is more of like core of the blockchain, you are now going into the core of blockchain development itself, how the programming language are handled and processed to make it compatible, to make it work with the Solana sea level and some other aspect of Solana blockchain. So if we go by that, we can say, okay, 3, but if not, then we can talk about just native program. So in case you see that in some articles as well, and just custom on-chain. But these are the most important one you will deal with, because when you are creating some of these things, you want to have program ID of maybe a program account that is helping you to undo some of these things that you will reference. So if you have built things like SPL token, you will reference SPL token program ID. If you are using memo, that means you are writing like a kind of doing a transfer, and then you want to add a note to it. You will need the memo, and then you have to reference the program ID. So that's why you have to have idea of all these things. So if you found this helpful, let me know. And if you have any more clarity as well on it, share it in the comment. Support to keep the Programming University going, creating helpful content for Web3 developer in Solana, in AVM and more. Use the donate button to keep this going. And because all this content, I do them for free, but it costs in time, resources to keep this going. So that's just it. And I remain Solomon Foske. See you in the next video. Keep the programming spirit and alive, and please always do good to humanity and nature with your programming skill and not evil, to make the world and universe a better place for us all. That's it. I will see you in the next video.